Welcome to Stories of the Rebound with Larry Blumenfeld, where we invite musicians to talk about their work and reflect on what music means in this moment, how musicians and artists alike are inventing new ways of engaging with the world.
When we last saw each other, we were in a little chapel tucked away on Harvard's campus, and you had your ensemble class there,
Yeah.
and you were working through the music of Rajna Swaminathan, who studies in the music department at Harvard and was working toward a premiere of her piece. And it was really fascinating because there you were with your class and your ensemble helping her create that music in real time. So what does this moment mean for all that kind of work?
Well, sadly, as I'm sure you heard, that piece and all of the other world premieres that were going to happen on that concert with the Los Angeles Philharmonic, that has been canceled along with everything else. So that project is at a standstill, as are so many projects. So that was, one of the many impetuses to put together this New Music Solidarity Fund. So basically, what we decided to do, a group of about 14 artists got together over Zoom about a week and a half ago, and these are folks who are just friends and colleagues, comrades in the new music field across the country, and we asked ourselves, what can we do, and what can we do as a group if we corral our energies to help our most vulnerable musician friends who are in a crisis mode right now with all these cancellations. And we're talking about the people who don't have safety nets and who don't have salaries and who don't have academic fellowships. These are the people who have risked absolutely everything to create and play and promote the music of our time. And who has, freelancers, independent artists already exist on the margins of mainstream cultural support structures. And, for these people, concert cancellations are a loss of an entire livelihood. And these people, for me, I think for all of us on the committee, they're on the front lines musically and spiritually of our field. Like these are the most important artists, and they are completely left out right now. So we asked ourselves as a group, what can we do? And so we said we are going to raise as much money as we possibly can in a week and announce this solidarity fund. So this is very important to the group and its ethos, that this is solidarity, not charity, right? This is brothers and sisters in the new music world helping one another out, and making sure that we can all stay standing through this. And so we set the kind of audacious goal of raising $100,000 in a week.
And how'd you do?
We are at nearly $200,000 now and counting.
Really?
Yep.
And what was the means? What was the mechanism?
We asked arts leaders, professors, and colleagues in our field who are in positions of security, professionally, who have salaried positions or have the kind of safety net that the artists we're talking about do not. And we asked for $500 contributions or multiples of $500. And I think the simplicity of that ask, the directness and the simplicity of that ask, and its translation into what will be a number of $500 emergency assistance grants to any musician who's in a non-salaried position, who had a project involving a living composer canceled. I think that was very effective as a fundraising tool because it was immediate, it was direct. $500, every dollar of that goes to a musician who's suffering right now.
So then will musicians apply, or?
Musicians, as starting on March 31st, New Music USA is generously hosting this and providing the 501c3 and the administrative support. And the applications will be open. So next Tuesday, the 31st.
Right. So it's a miraculous effort. It's also, as you and I both know, it's a start because we don't know.
It's the start. It's a very, very small amount of money. And it will help, as many people as we possibly can, but we need so much more. And, artists come together in times of crisis, and artists move much more quickly than institutions do. They move with much more velocity, but also much more generosity. And I think we're seeing this in every sector of society right now, that the community organizers are far more effective than the large organizations and corporations and government agencies, right? People working on the ground level and the grassroots levels are the ones who are really affecting change right now.
I've in my own research and my own reporting, I found that to be very true. For instance, the work I did in post-Katrina New Orleans, it turned out that one of the most efficient and effective ways to fund what was needed in the moment was through cultural organizations and through small grassroots organizations. But back to where you started, I mean, you're talking about, right, these are the people who may not have glamorous lives and may actually work fairly close to the bone, but they are the thinkers, the movers, the shakers, the leaders of the art form that you're part of. And I know from writing about you and from your environment that it's only fairly recently that all of you have found the venues and the context to even present your music in a
Absolutely.
way. So this is I mean, on the one hand, you're talking about people who have to pay their bills and pay their rent and just move on through this period of lost income, but it's a pretty fragile ecosystem to begin with.
It's a very fragile ecosystem. Yes.
I mean, is this a moment where we can raise awareness of that fact too?
We must. I mean, that's absolutely what needs to happen. And more broadly than just in the arts sector, I mean, see this happening with awareness of a field that has so much wisdom and so much to teach us about this moment, which is the disability rights activist movement, which has it's tremendously inspiring, and people who have been living with illness and who have been living with self-isolation have so much to teach the rest of us in this moment. And we need to get out of the way and we need to listen, not just to help ourselves and to help one another in the situation, but we need to get out of the way and we need to listen, because these are voices that need to be centered, not continue to be marginalized. If and when, God forbid, we can put this crisis behind us. And I think that is absolutely true of the arts world as well. And it's just been so heartening to me and so inspiring to see our community come together and open their wallets and open their hearts and say, yes, I'm in this, I'm in solidarity. And, that it exceeded our wildest expectations this week, and the donations are still pouring in. We also got a very generous match from the Howard Gilman Foundation. They matched the first $50,000 that was raised by artists. And we're hoping that other corporations and foundations will come in before Tuesday, but also once the fund is up and running and applications are open on the 31st, with matching grants.
So it's called the New Music and Solidarity Fund?
It's called the New Music Solidarity Fund, yes.
New Music Solidarity Fund, and the 31st is when the applications open. Are there ways for people to snowball this or add to it?
In terms of donations?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. So whether it's $1 or whether it's $1 million, the donation portal is open on New Music USA's website. All contributions are tax deductible. And what I would say is if you're a music lover with the capacity to give at any level, whether it's $10 or 10 million, this is a really, really good cause, and every dollar of it is going to end up in the pocket of a worthy and struggling musician right now.
Great. This is, I mean, to me, this moment is going to make for these kinds of efforts, which may transcend this moment in the end.
I sure hope it does.
I'm curious to now, for you, hold up the way you are now in your home in Brooklyn. Is this experience, how long have you been now kind of holed up?
It's been a week and a half.
Okay. It's early into this moment, but will it affect how you go about making your own music?
Oh, it's affected everything. I mean, tonight I would have been playing the world premiere of Felipe Lara's duo concerto with Esperanza Spalding and the Helsinki Philharmonic. And I'm heartbroken that I'm in my kitchen instead, but that's one of about 35 projects of mine that I've been working years for that have been canceled in the next 3 months. And so I, have had to adjust to that new reality. But I'm in an incredibly privileged position
Right.
because I'm also a teacher and I can rely on a salary from Harvard. And so I haven't really shed a tear. I mean, I'm sad about it, but my concern
Right.
right now is helping the people around me who are really in need. And they include my neighbors and then of course all of my comrades in the new music world. So I'm not thinking about my projects right now. I'm
Right.
thinking about how we're going to get through this and how I can use every available platform, every available resource and support structure that I have or that I can build in the service of our community. And I think that's the only way that that I know how to be in this situation.
Right. Well, I agree with you.
We'll get through this.
Yes, we will. And some interesting things may come out of it that wouldn't have happened otherwise.
Yeah.
I know I think the meditation that you will be involved in uh, is also, that's the kind of ritual that we need right now, isn't it?
Yeah, and when Raquel and I were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, and by the way, what she's done in organizing the festival and just galvanizing all of these different people from
Yeah.
all these different scenes is just extraordinary. I mean, she is a force of nature, and it's a privilege to work alongside her and support her. Um, but we were talking about the tuning meditation, and it just kind of came up organically in conversation, like, why don't we repeat this every week? People,
Right.
this shouldn't be a one-time only event. Like, this is something people are going to need every week. And I mean, I could do the tuning meditation once an hour and I wouldn't get tired of it. It's totally
Right.
different every
Right.
time. And to tune in with other people, with strangers, with yourself, with the
Right.
room. There's so much to learn there every time. So I'm so happy we're doing it, and I hope who knows, maybe it'll end up being a thing that continues 52 weeks a year.
Well, if you know anything about Pauline Oliveros's ethos to begin with, and about this piece, it sort of, yeah, naturally speaks to this situation in a very unusual way.
It does. I mean, I love that she said collaboration is a community of effort, and I
Right.
think that is such a useful and inspiring directive for this moment in music making and in coalition and solidarity building.
Great. Claire, thanks very much.
Oh, thank you,
Good
Larry.
luck
Really
with all
appreciate
of this, and our paths will keep crossing.
it. Yeah.